All right, guys. A big one today. A big one today. Not our typical video where we're out there trying to hunt for retro games, 80s and 90s collectibles to fill up this game room. A little bit different because things are about to change. Like, things are about to change really for my life and also for the channel and where the direction of everything is going. And I'll be honest, I am so excited, but I'm also scared to death and terrified at the same time. You can be both of those things simultaneously. All right, so where to even get in? Man, I think when you start something, you never know where you're gonna end up, right? That's the journey of life, which is exciting and also, again, frightening at the same time. I know for me, when I started this YouTube channel, I had no idea where it was gonna go, right? You had no idea when you moved to another city for a job, and then something happened, and then this event happened, and then your life changed completely, right? That is how life works, and I think the people that make it, the people that do well in life are the people that can adjust to those changes and can pivot, and that's what we're having to do in this scenario. So, when I started this channel, guys, I had no idea. I loved retro video games. I love 80s and 90s toys and collectibles, and I've always kind of hustled to get them. I've always flipped things and resold things since I was a kid. And one day, if you're new here, or maybe you just don't even know the story of how the channel kind of started, I get on YouTube. I still think YouTube is like funny cat videos. Like, that's what I think YouTube is. I get on YouTube and I type in game hunting, right? I'm like, are there other weird people like me that like, first off, to collect this stuff, play this stuff, and then also procure these items through the avenue of resale shops, garage sales, and just the hustle? Are there other people that do it? Type in game hunting, and this weird channel called Retro Liberty pops up.
We were just talking about that. No one brings anything to swap anymore.
Yeah, it's a swap meet. Don't we get to swap stuff?
And it's a guy named Aaron and Ricky. You know them as Riff and Ricky because they have a new channel called Pixel Game Squad. They stopped making videos for a couple years, but their original channel was, I think, 10 years ago at this point. They had a channel for about 4 or 5 years, and that's what they did. They went to swap meets and all these different places, and they would talk about games, and I was like, oh my gosh. There are more people out there that like the same exact thing. So I had collected for a while, but I had never thought about diving into like YouTube or anything like that. And I did it. I was like, man, I'm gonna try this. I've never made a video in my entire life. I've never made one video ever, and had to teach myself all of it. How to edit, how to put things together, how to like tell a story on camera, all of it. And I did that. And I didn't really have huge aspirations of what was going to happen. I really didn't. To think about where the channel is right now, and the channel's not huge, but I mean it's grown for sure. Never in a million years would I think we'd have 170,000 plus people on YouTube, 300,000 on Facebook. It's wild, right? It's wild. So I started it, but I didn't know where it was going to go. I actually started my channel out making a ton of videos of like reviews. I would do reviews. Me and Tommy would just talk about Nickelodeon. I just was kind of everywhere. I didn't know where the channel needed to be. I just was kind of throwing stuff at the wall to see if it would stick. And like we talked about earlier, I adjusted when one day I was like, what if I actually just film me picking up some games? I filmed me picking up a couple games, went to a game store, went and picked up a Sega Genesis Mini, I think, at one point. And those videos instantly got like 4 or 5 times the amount of views of like my reviews. Well, I guess people like that. You kind of adjust whenever you start to see what people are actually watching. I could spend all this time making videos about things that, maybe I really love, and I think that's fine. But at the end of the day, people weren't watching it. I'm like, well, I only have a limited amount of time, and I do like to hunt, so why don't I just do that? So I pivoted and I adjusted. So from there, guys, the channel has been amazing. It has grown wildly past any expectation that I could ever have. I told you earlier, Retro Liberty, Riff, and Ricky, they're my guys. I love those dudes. but I just loved watching their videos. So again, you don't ever think all these things are gonna happen in your life. I became friends with these guys. So much so that now Riff is actually the editor. He's one of the editors of the channel.
I'm editing it now.
You can't think about this stuff that it's gonna happen, and it just does. In fact, in a couple weeks, Riff and Ricky are gonna be here. One of them are gonna sleep on this couch, and the other person's gonna sleep downstairs. They're gonna have to duke it out for who gets to sleep in the guest bed. You don't know. And that's what I love about YouTube is you just don't know. I watch a guy named Sean Cannell on here. He basically makes YouTube videos on how to do YouTube. And he always talks about this. He's like, maybe you start a channel and it never busts 1,000 subscribers, because there are a ton of YouTube channels out there that have never broke 1,000 subscribers, and they're great. They just didn't have the luck, the algorithm didn't hit right, and it just never grew. But he said, those people walk away. Maybe they do it for 2 years, maybe they do it for 3 years, who knows? They walk away with a new skill set. Maybe in their term of doing YouTube videos, they met somebody, and then because of that event, they moved to a new city and they got an editing job, or they started helping with a production of some type. Like you don't know. Like I never in a million years would think I'd be traveling all over the US, getting to hang out with you guys and going to crazy conventions and meeting people and seeing some of the coolest crap. It's insane. I just made a video a couple weeks ago about finding a Jeffrey the Giraffe Toys R Us statue, 6-foot statue in South Carolina with one of my buddies that's on YouTube, NES Addict. Like, what is this world? Like, it's insane. It's insane. So it has just evolved over the last three and a half years. Never would have ever expected it. And my phone's going off. And here we are with a big announcement. So the short story is, I know these people in town, and they own a couple businesses. Really cool couple. Have known them for many, many years, and they have acquired a new company or a new business probably 3-4 years ago. And their heart is really into this new company. And I've known that. Every time I talk to the lady that owns the other business, or that owns the business, I always talk to her, and she's always just like beaming about this camp that she basically owns. I think it's awesome, right? So I'm talking to her one day, and she says, hey, we've been thinking about something. Honestly, we've been praying about it, and we have felt like maybe you would want to buy our other business. Now, what is the other business? Why am I being so vague? Well, the other business is a video game store, okay? Not just any video game store, a massive video game store. We're talking 4,000 to 5,000 square feet. It's the largest game store I've ever been to. I don't know of a bigger one. I really don't. And it's primarily probably 50 to 60% retro games, 30, 40% modern games. She owns the store, and she asked me if I would consider praying about purchasing the store. And I'm like the inventory of the store? Like, I do that sometimes, but like, this is a big store. We're talking a huge store. She's like, no. I'm talking about the store. Like, here's the key. Go. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, let me talk to my wife. Let me talk to Mrs. Retro about this, because this is no small purchase. We're talking about, first of all, life-changing thing. Changes everything about my life. Changes the channel. Changes financially everything. I mean, I'm like, okay, I gotta really think about this. So I tell my wife, and I did not know what my wife was gonna say. I didn't know she's gonna be like, heck no, tech no, we ain't doing that, bro. Wow, that rhymed a lot. Did not mean to do that. And I tell her the situation, and she's like, I think we should obviously, again, consider and pray about it. But I think it's a great idea. I'm like, really? Okay. So if Mrs. Retro is on board, I'm gonna listen. All right, I'm gonna think about this. So we do our due diligence. We really seek guidance on this whole thing, and we decide that it is for us if we can get the funding. Now, getting this amount of money is very, very hard. Like I had no idea. All right, so we've been working on this for about 3 months now, And guys, I'm pumped to tell you that we have secured the loan and we are closing on this game store in just a couple weeks. Hence why Riff and Ricky are coming down. So, holy crap, guys. I'm going to show you a little bit of B-roll of this store. I don't want to give too much away, but I will show you guys a little bit of the B-roll of the store and just what can happen, man. What can this do for the channel? And what can the channel do for the store? Because I'll say this, they own multiple businesses, the people that own it now, and they just can't really think about it as much as they'd like to. The store does great because it's freaking phenomenal. It's the cleanest game store, most pristine, put together. It is absolutely immaculate. It is an attraction. It really is. But they can only put so much time into it like everybody else, right? So they have made this amazing store, but they haven't been able to put more time into what it could be, and it can be even more, which is so cool. I would actually love to know from you guys in the comments, what are some ideas that you guys may have for the store? Like what are some content ideas that I can basically make? The sky is the limit, really. Like I've thought about the whole, Pawn Stars type idea, like having awesome things that are traded in and making videos about seeing this wild stuff that is going to be coming in from all over the place, the day in the life of a game store owner. Like I know for me, I'm super into that kind of stuff. Love to watch it. I've thought about the insane Whatnot streams that we can do. Guys, like just think about it. I know that not everybody is on board with Whatnot and loves Whatnot. I'm obsessed with it. I think genuinely it is going to turn the tide for all of online buying and reselling. If you don't know what Whatnot is, basically online community where you're buying and selling video games in community, where you're talking to each other and you're holding it up. It's crazy. Like I am slow. I am very slow to new things. I'm an old man. You told me about a new app. I'm like, I don't really care about it. And I was like that with Whatnot. And I've been on there now for a year and it's in its infancy and it's only going to get bigger. It's amazing. So anyway, we're on there once a month with a big event where we just give away thousands of dollars of video games, and we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that at the store, and we're gonna create it's gonna be crazy. The store is going to be another character in the channel. So, man, what does this mean for the channel? Am I gonna stop, going out there and hunting and going to conventions? No, I'm not gonna stop doing that. But you have to think the channel has to evolve in some way, and it only makes sense. That was one of the best pieces of advice I ever got about YouTube was someone said, film what you're already doing. If you're tight on time, film what you're already doing. Because guys, I've told you before, I have a full-time job. I'm working 40 to 50 hours a week. I've got a family, multiple kids. YouTube is no joke, guys. YouTube is no joke. It is so much work. Okay, so you film what you're already doing. I'm already gonna be at the game store. Things are already gonna be happening there. So it makes sense to sprinkle in game store content. But to go back real quick about how much time it takes. First of all, I wanna say shout out to the Retro Rick team. So you guys may not know this. We have 5 people that are making this YouTube channel work. 5. We have Riff, he edits. We have Joe edits videos as well. Christy takes care of the channel. Guys, she's our admin assistant, takes care of all the emails that come in, and she is amazing. You got Marvel Morris, he takes care of all of Whatnot, and Tommy Nitro he's just so creative, and he's always helping with different ideas and things like that. So shout out first of all to them, because I've never shared this, I don't feel like in a video, but I almost killed myself a couple years ago. You do not know how much time it takes to create videos. For the first year and a half, I did everything. Every single thing for the channel, and I was spending about 40 hours a week on top of my job, on top of hanging out with my family, that I was basically working 100 hours a week. And again, I haven't really said this before, I was in and out of the hospital 3 or 4 times because I was sleeping about an hour to 2 hours a night trying to pump out content. I'm insane. I'm an insane person. And it came to a point where my wife was like, all right, dude, you either do this You either get help or you quit. She's like tough, man. And I need that. I need that. So we hired our first editor, Joe. Basically, I was losing money by putting out content, but I wanted to continue to put out content. So first of all, thank you so much to the full team. We've needed a team, and we have a team, and I think the team is only going to grow as the channel grows. But I would say, honest to God, like, thank you to you guys more than anything. Because if it wasn't for you guys watching the channel, we wouldn't have a channel. Like, if I'm being completely honest, if we're going to put 40 hours a week into a video or into videos and there's nobody, it gets 0 views, I don't think we continue making videos. But we are getting views. People are enjoying the content, so we are making it, which is awesome. But I would say thank you guys so much for first of all, just watching. Watching is everything. Like, thank you that's even happening. Thank you so much to sticking it out through the sponsorship minute, those 1 minute parts of the video. I know people don't have a really good like perception of what that means. It's everything. Like, it is so helpful to the channel. I pay these people that are working for the channel, and if I couldn't pay them, we probably wouldn't have a channel. So people that understand how the world works, understand when they see a minute sponsorship, they're like, oh yeah, I get how businesses work, right? That's how you have to fund things in that. So views fund it, the sponsorships fund it, and then also, thank you so much. I think we're right at 700 Patreon members. You guys do not know how that saved the channel. We have a Patreon for $3 a month, $36 a year. And because of that, I'm telling you guys, that saved the channel. It totally did. A year and a half ago, that was what was able to fund me hiring an editor, was like, thank God we had some funds to be able to actually hire somebody out to make these videos. So if you are any of those people, thank you so much. There were so many times I wanted to quit, and I was like, I can't go in the hole $1,000 a month to put out videos that people are watching for free. I can't do it. And these people just came out of the woodwork to help support the channel. Now, there are benefits to the Patreon for sure, but man, I know it doesn't seem like anything, $3 a month. It's like, what is $36 a year? It saved the channel. Like, thank you guys so incredibly much for that. So that's where we're at. I know it's long-winded to say that, but in a couple weeks, Ricky and Riff are going to be out here. We are going to start documenting some of this whole thing. There's a couple rooms we need to go through that haven't been touched in years in the store, and then just the changes. Like, I'm gonna take out some of the things that are in the store. I'm gonna add in new things and do just a bunch of stuff. But again, I would love to know y'all's thoughts. Like, what are some content ideas for this whole thing? We are buying a store. We are buying a massive video game store, and I cannot wait to see again where this takes the channel and just where it leads. So guys, again, down in the comments, let me know your thoughts. And until next time, peace.